Hey guys, welcome to the channel Before You Call a Contractor. I'm Andy. This video I want to talk about some things you can check if your AC is not working. Nothing worse than turning your AC on in the spring or on your first real hot day and it doesn't work. So, I'm not saying this is going to be the fix-all. You may have to call a contractor, but the first things you can check, let's check for power. Open up your breaker panel. Depending on how many units you have, it's going to depend on how many breakers you have. I only have one unit, so I've got a 50 amp breaker here, which is my outside unit, and I've got a 15 amp breaker here, which is my air handler. Now, if you have 2 or 3 units, you're going to have either 2 breakers, 4 breakers, or 6 breakers, depending on how many units you have. So that's the first place I would check. All right, the next thing I would check would be my outside unit. Every outside unit is going to have a disconnect, like this. This is an old one. It's got a breaker and then it pulls out. But a lot of these have a handle on the side that you can turn the power on and off. And you never know, you may have had a kid come by those in the yard and just turned it off. Or maybe even you had a HVAC contractor there in the past fall or winter and they turned it off to service it and they forgot to turn it back on. So I would check that. All right, next you want to go to where your unit in the house is. Mine happens to be in the attic. Now, every unit should have a tray underneath it to catch water. This right here is a switch. If this tray starts to fill up with water, this switch is going to turn the unit off. So if the tray is filled up with water, that could be an issue, and you may have to have an HVAC tech come check that. Or it could just be that the drain pipe on it's clogged. The other thing is if your unit is in the basement, you are more than likely going to have a condensation pump. What that is your condensation pipe drains into a pump, and when that pump fills up, it's going to pump the water out through a small flexible tube. Now those pumps do go bad from time to time. So that would be another thing that I would check on that. And by the way, those are a simple fix. They literally plug in, the HVAC pipe drains into them, and the flex pipes come off. And you can usually pick those up either at Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, any of the big box stores. You can do that yourself. Let's say it's a weekend and you can't get an HVAC up and you really want your AC working. That's an option. Next thing you want to check are your condensation pipes. This is your condensation pipe. Mine happens to drain down there because, like I said, my unit's in the attic and it drains outside. These pipes can become clogged. On my unit, if this pipe becomes clogged, this right here is a shutoff switch. So when the bottom of my unit starts to fill up with water, this shuts the unit off. It's also a good idea, probably about every 6 months, pour some bleach down this tube, maybe about a cup. That'll keep the mold away and that'll help keep it from clogging. The last thing that you can possibly check are these doors here. I only have one door, but a lot of units have 2. Typically they have 2 because your filter is going to be in the bottom. If that's the kind you have, if these doors are not installed properly, there is a switch somewhere in here, and you can see, you can actually just press it, and it will turn the unit off if the door is not installed properly. So check those doors, because sometimes for some reason they just come unlodged. And they're pretty simple. They just lift out and set back in. Anyway, guys, I hope you find this video useful. Appreciate you watching. Have a great day.